Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland, this is for you.
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk Super Bowls, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.
Oh, yeah, I hit that button in the background on accident. Sorry about that. Some last-minute music. Welcome into 440 in goal, the Week 10 review. I kind of like the music in the background. It wasn't terrible.
Starting off on a hot note.
Yeah, I promise you I'm going to screw something up. How you fellas doing this evening on a beautiful Wednesday, chilly October 27th? I think it is.
Hey, it's finally fall. I am super pumped about that because I can actually wear some hoodies, rocking in honor of our player of the week this week. I did notice something that last year on October 27th, we welcomed another Spartan on the show. That was Zach Rice. He was our player of the week that week. So, I guess full circle then, right?
Quiet Riot. Yeah, boy. We may have talked about him a little bit. Zach, no offense if you're watching. It was all good stuff, buddy. All good stuff. So welcome into Week 10 in review. It's me, Ryan, Sam, and .com Tom coming in hot tonight on a Wednesday evening. Pretty excited. A little disappointed, too, at the same time. Football season's over for 6 of the 8 schools, unfortunately. But it was a wild ride all year. But nonetheless, how was your guys' weekend? What's going on?
Well, my weekend was good. It's, I spent all my weekend like Charlie from It's Always Sunny with, my dry erase board in the back looking for Pepe Sylvia, trying to figure out, well, if this team wins, then this team's in. And if they win, then they can win. And at the end of the day, PV makes it, Lakeside makes it, and I don't have to look like Charlie. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Did you go and talk to Carol from HR?
I got bags of this stuff over here. I don't know where he's at.
Have a cigarette. You're having a panic attack. It's fine.
I have no idea what that's from, so I can't relate to anything.
Only the educated do.
Yep, not a clue. Is that? Oh, did you say Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
It's always sunny. It's God's gift to the world in the dark place.
Tom,
is. What did you do this weekend? Did you move any metal?
Oh, bro, I slung metal this weekend, man.
Did you?
97-year-old woman. Her name's Maxine. She might be my favorite person to ever live. I'm gonna tell you what. She was great. No, she's 97. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Oh God. No, but I know you guys look at me like the party guy and the cool guy of the group, but I really stayed at home and watched movies all weekend. It was a great weekend for film. Dune came out, so I watched Dune 4 times. It was great. Timothy Chalamet is a vision of an actor. I'll put it that way. And Sunday, I enjoyed a Browns free Sunday and really got to do a deep dive into other teams. I'm a big NFL guy, so I'm a big fantasy football guy too. So it was spent a lot of time doing that, and it was just nice and relaxing. It was a nice change of pace, I guess. Everyone needs a weekend off, you know what I mean?
Speaking of fantasy, as the dust begins to settle,
No
our
good.
fantasy league
It
is
ain't no
coming to
good.
an end. I'm waiting on a couple more stats from a couple more people, but I can tell you that unless somebody magically ran for 700 yards or passed for 5 million, what's got two thumbs and whipped your? It's this guy right here. I'm gonna be
I don't
the
know.
winner.
Did we get Conneaut stats? Because Zach Rice, he could go for 700, man. Who
Yeah,
knows?
listen, he was the only one I was worried about. He went for about 198, so I'm in the clear. It looks like I'm taking the victor on the Hitch and Hodge train.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen.
that was definitely a steamboat rolling down there in South part of the county, I should say. But
Yeah, boy.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah, but nothing
God made two
crazy
types
for
of
me. It was
people.
kind
He
of
made
nice.
winners, and then he made you guys.
Right.
Appropriate. Appropriate.
I cross my arms in disgust. Just not
Listen,
like
I don't know
right
what
now.
I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm going to get you guys shirts or something. You guys are going to do something. I don't care if it says Sam's biggest fan or something. You got to wear it all day.
Burn
you know
it.
what, audience? Tonight, as you are watching the show, I think
Burn it.
you guys should decide what the fantasy punishment is for these two guys for turning it up all season.
Yeah, nothing. Just let everyone know it's nothing. Don't dive into that crap that Sammy puts out there. I promise you, it's a lot of it. It's a lot of crap. A lot of crap. But nonetheless, I'll go in. My weekend was short, sweet, simple. Hit John's golf outing for a little bit, and that was about it. I got home about 9:30 and did not much but anything special on Sunday, and it was kind of nice for the first time in probably 3 months. I did miss coaching some football, but it was nice to have a little break. It was nice. I can't complain, but I do need to mow my lawn pretty desperately. But it keeps raining.
I might have to go out there with what is it? A scythe? Is it called a scythe?
Sickle.
Scythe?
Sickle.
Yeah, a sickle. I'm gonna have to go out there with a sickle, like an Amish man, because mine has not been touched, and all it does is rain and rain and rain. I'm gonna set myself up for this. I don't care. You guys can just bring it.
Let's see where you're going with this.
Because I forgot I did this week.
Oh yeah, I know what you're putting up now. Just a bunch of garbage.
Listen. King of the North.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's
God.
Kind of scary.
For the first time as an adult ever in my life, we went to a Halloween costume party. I was supposed to be Jon Snow, but apparently I look like some fat dude from Harry Potter. I don't
look like a damn caveman. Is what you look like. You look like the Spanish abominable snowman.
Oh God.
There was one.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, I probably won't do it again, but
right. That was great.
Time.
All right. With that being said, why don't we hit the volleyball? We do have kind of a special announcement. We'll let Sammy run with that one there.
What had become my favorite part of the fall portion of the show. It's time for the volleyball roundup. All right, as you know, they did tournament play last week. So no games were played, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about the tournament play. In Division I action, Lakeside takes a loss to Madison. They are done for the year. Edgewood, they defeat Niles McKinley in round 1 before taking a loss to Kenston. Geneva takes a loss to Poland. And Jefferson defeats Cleveland JFK. I almost said Warren. Cleveland JFK in round 1, then taking a loss to Cortland Lakeview. In Division III action, PV takes a loss to East Palestine. Conneaut takes a loss to Youngstown Liberty. Grand Valley, they take a loss to Berkshire. And then heading down to Division 4, St. John, still in the tournament, continues their play after defeating Southington Chalker and Lisbon David Anderson. They will compete in the district semifinals today against the number 1 seed Wellsville. I'm sure that game is probably already done, but if it's not, good luck. No matter what, the end of that game is, what a great season to make it to the semifinals and get a couple playoff wins. We know that playoff wins feel a little bit better. Moving on from there, we did a volleyball preview this year, and it was a lot of fun. And from that volleyball preview, we committed for that volleyball preview. We did commit to a scholarship for who is going to be the player of the year, the Ashtabula County Player of the Year in volleyball. And here are your finalists. From Grand Valley, Courtney Hyvick. She is a senior. These are all going to be seniors. That was a prerequisite for being a finalist. Maddie Bales of Edgewood, Taylor Skinner of Jefferson, and Rachel Ostovitz of Pymatuning Valley. Now, the way that these finalists have been determined, what we did is we reached out to every Ashtabula County coach, and we asked them to nominate. We asked them to nominate a couple girls that they felt were outstanding seniors in the county. And all the girls you see on that list right there all have had multiple nominations by not only their coach, by other coaches. So 4 finalists, congratulations and well done to all the ladies on the final list. We are still in the process of determining who the winner is, and I think we're going to go ahead and get that announced next week. So make sure you tune in here. Once again, I'm just going to run this up real quick. Your finalists for Ashtabula County Volleyball Player of the Year: Grand Valley's Courtney Hyvick, Edgewood's Maddie Bales, Jefferson's Taylor Skinner, and Pymatuning Valley's Rachel Ostovitz. Congratulations, girls, and that's a wrap on the year.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. I just, one season ends, another season starts. We've already started talking about basketball, but, in wrestling and whatever comes in the winter, I feel like I'm missing one there, but it's sad to see it end. But kudos to the St. John Heralds there for continuing on. So hopefully
before we head on, Ryan, I do want to, I always almost forget until the end of the show. I want to send a huge shout out to Coach Tracy Mead over at Lakeside. She helped all year with all the volleyball stats, putting all that stuff together in a neat, tidy package so we could come out here and do this and talk about these girls every week. That along with the coaches themselves who, taking their time to go out and, put together an email and nominate and that sort of thing. Without the help of you guys, we couldn't do this. And volleyball was something I'm a dad of girls. So, it holds a special place in my heart. I'm really excited that we got it involved in the show this year, and I'm looking forward to keeping it going. So thank you guys so much for doing that, everybody who's taken out time. And don't forget, next week, we will announce the winner.
Big round of applause for Tracy Mead. Thank you so much for helping out 440 on goal all season long. All right, with that being said, I think that's it. Volleyball was short tonight, which was unexpected. Well, no, it was expected. Let's just be honest about it. So with that being said, we're going to hit it with a few of our sponsored ads, and then stay tuned because...
Hey, if you like the way these ads look, jump out and tell us and let us advertise for you. As we head into basketball season, we are still looking for advertisers. We need help. For us to be able to continue to do this show and to be able to continue to, try and promote extra coverage and extra star shine for these Ashtabula County athletes, we need help from businesses. Any little bit helps. So anything you can do, please feel free to contact us. Thanks.
And the contact for that you can see is right up on your television or phone or screen, whatever it is. But it's 440onggoal@gmail.com. You can hit us on Facebook, facebook.com/440onggoal via Facebook Messenger. All right. With that being said, a couple messages from our proud sponsors. 440 and Gold proudly welcomes Play All Awards and Engraving. Awards, they do them all at Play All, from trophies to plaques to all other things celebration. Play All has 2 on-site laser computerized engraving machines as well as thermal imaging equipment. Play All has been locally owned and operated since 1993. Check them out at playallamerica.com or check out their Facebook page at Play All Awards and Engraving. Visit Play All at 4542 Main Avenue in beautiful downtown Ashtabula, Ohio. Big shout out there to Play All, Made in Ohio, and State Road Medical for being sponsors all football season long.
2 years in a row, really.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. Play All's always helped us out with the trophies. He did design the, Battle for Route 84 trophy. Bart's always done the T-shirts for us, and State Road, they've just always been there. So kudos to those guys. Thank you guys so much. But with that being said, Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, without further ado, we got to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Week 10 Player of the Week. 199 yards passing and 2 touchdowns against the powerhouse Fort LaBeouf. We're talking about none other than Kiefer Mandagelo. Ladies and gentlemen, Kiefer Mandagelo.
There he is. Kiefer, you got to unmute your mic, buddy. You hit the mute button. I can't unmute you. There you go, buddy. Welcome in, Kiefer. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. I'm on Wednesday night hanging out with the Week 10 Player of the Week for 440 and Gold. What else could go? What could go wrong at that point?
So, Kiefer, you guys go out, and even though you take a tough loss against Fort LaBeouf. Fort LaBeouf is no pushover. That's a solid team, and you guys are well acquainted. You're well acquainted with those Pennsylvania teams, but you still managed to get 200 yards, and that's alongside Zach Rice getting what it seems to be his prerequisite 200 yards rushing. You figure out it looks like you guys hooked up quite a bit in the air as well. Quarterback is that's your secondary position, right? Because you kind of came into this team and into high school as a receiver, correct?
Yes, sir.
So, what are some of the changes you had to make? Going from that receiver, not just the actual movements and stuff like that, but kind of the mentality of coming in, because you're coming off of a guy like Jake Slayton, who throws for, I think, 1,500 last year. And then behind him, Rylan Davidson, who we know about Rylan Davidson. So, quarterback and QB holds a lot of weight. What were some of the changes you had to make coming into this year, taking on that role?
Well, the main change that I had to do is become a vocal leader. And I'm not, much of a vocal leader. So it was definitely a change having to talk to, the offense, getting the offensive line ready and getting the plays throughout all the receivers and the running backs. And it's just vocal leadership is probably the biggest change.
So one of the other things that I think is a secondary benefit from a receiver turning into a quarterback is, when you're calling the plays in the huddle and you're looking on the field, these are routes that you've run. And these are, this is, how these routes should be run. So it makes it a little bit easier to kind of know and develop that relationship with those receivers. Did you find yourself during practices working with receivers, particularly whether it was Chase Carpenter or Zach Rice or, any of these guys are going to be catching for you about, this is how deep I need you to be. This is where I'm going. This is, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. We Coach Tadero, our QB coach, he would always tell us how talk to the receivers, have them sit in windows and all that. Catch, step, throw, our slants and stuff. Coach Rock would always say that. Then, throughout the year, we'd always go, an out route, we'd always go speed out or normal out. We'd like communicate before the snap is called. So
Now, is that something you're communicating, or is that coming in from the offensive coordinator?
the like telling them like the speed routes and all that, that's like quarterback to receiver communication.
All right, so since well, go ahead. Did you have something, Sammy? Before I
No,
chime
no,
in?
you go
Say,
ahead.
since it's the end of the season, and I guess you can kind of let it loose a little bit. What was
Here
your
we go.
favorite offensive play to run? If there was one call that the coach made, now if this was week 5, I'd never ask this. Just I guess proprietary reasons. We don't want to give anyone's plays out. But if it was week 10, what was your favorite all-time call? When you heard it, you couldn't wait to run that play.
Oh man, either for running I like zone, and then for passing I like slow go.
A slow go.
Okay, that was the name of the play? Just slow go.
Yeah.
Slow go on 1 or 2 or 3. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, man, keep it simple. I like that. I mean, I would remember that. It's good for me. Look, so I remember things they call it. My favorite play. Just go with this real quick, but it was called 63 trap. You know why I remember that play, Kiefer?
Nah.
Because my number may have been 63. Sorry, I had to go with that one there. But so I got to go into this a little bit. So obviously, Sam, you had your big game last week, 199, 2 tutties. But on the season, you put up, 950 yards. Sammy was telling you that, and 12 touchdowns. But let's not forget, you almost had 400 yards of rushing over the course of that season. You are a big, don't get me wrong. Can't take much away from Rice. He put up a lot of yards, and he knew how to get down the field. But you helped out a lot with that. With that being said, did you prefer to run the ball or did you prefer to pass the ball? And plus, you're a senior and you can't get in too much trouble at this point.
I prefer to run.
Ooh.
Oh, running. First QB.
Yeah, I like that.
So, Kiefer,
you got 950. Go ahead, Tom.
All right, Kiefer, I had a question for you. So obviously you're in Conneaut, an Ohio school, and Conneaut has the distinct pleasure, I guess you could say, of playing Ohio schools and a predominantly Pennsylvania schedule. So you're putting up some pretty good stats this year, and you're playing against a versatile range of schools. Did you notice any difference between the way Ohio schools play football and the way Pennsylvania schools play football? And what were those differences, if any?
I don't really know, honestly. I'd say the Ohio schools definitely know like more. I feel like they hit harder, but I don't know. I couldn't really tell you because like we just mainly play PA schools.
Just going to play football.
Well, one of the things is, so you got your 950 yards this year and 400 yards rushing, and you missed a couple games, I believe, because we started the year, and I think you only played about 2 quarters because was it a shoulder injury? Kind of took you out for a little bit, or
I don't think it was 2 quarters.
I had a concussion.
Yeah.
So was that one? Did you miss another game after that, or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so 950 yards. That's in 8 games, or 8.5 games. Not too shabby. But you guys had a way this year of, you would take a tough loss and then you guys would go out there and just put all your aggressiveness on the next opponent. I felt bad for him. Like we were saying it on the show. If you guys lost one week, well, Conneaut's going to win by 50 this week, and that's usually what you guys did.
Yeah.
It seemed like it. That's for sure.
Is this, you are a senior and, you've been playing with these guys. When did you start playing football? Are you a midget league football guy? Did you start in junior high? When did Mandagelo start picking up the pigskin?
I would always play football in the backyard with my brother when I was like 4. So like ever since around 4 years old.
And did you play through like I guess it's not midget league anymore, it's youth league?
Yeah, I started playing I think like when I was like 6, I think 5 or 6.
And was that were you a receiver or were you playing quarterback back then too? Because you seem to be a pretty athletic kid and you can move up and down the field. And usually the young guys are like, I don't care if you can throw or not, put him in backfield.
Right.
My very first year, They had me at center.
Yeah. Hey,
then-
listen though. Sammy's talked about this before. There's a lot that goes into that position. I mean, there's a lot of responsibility. Think about it. Every snap has to get to the quarterback, whether it's shotgun, pistol, or they're under center. You have the responsibility of getting it there. And then if you chuck it over top of the quarterback's head in a shotgun formation, it is no one else's fault. Like, no one else helped throw that ball 15 yards behind the quarterback. It is the center's position in that role. So, like, yeah, that is interesting, though. I just wouldn't, I mean, at center, but I don't know, coaching the youth league, you just kind of put kids where they fit. It just seemed, at that moment.
Yeah, after week 1, I went to, I think, running back or something else.
Running back or wide receiver, probably. I'd go with one of those two.
So, you're a multi-sport athlete as well. So what are some of the other sports you play for the Spartans?
Right now it's just baseball.
Baseball. Where are you at on the diamond?
I play left field or right field.
Ball hawk kind of makes sense. As a wide receiver, you were a ball hawk.
You need the speed.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out there. Got to chase it down. So with that being said, I'm going to go into one of my favorite questions. I'm going to steal Sammy's thunder. I feel like he was getting ready to talk about it, and I kind of gave you a little hint on what was going to happen at some point in time during the show. Not only did you have 199 yards and 2 passing touchdowns, but on the season, Mr. Mandagelo here had 950 passing yards, 12 touchdowns, rushed for 388 yards. So kind of big recap of everything. But I would like to know who you would like to thank for all that fun jazz and those touchdowns and rushing yards that you put up this year. Anyone in particular?
I would like to thank my coaches for calling the right plays at the right times. I would like to thank my teammates for pushing me every day to get better. And I would like to thank my linemen because we went up against some big teams and they stuck up with them. So we ain't the biggest line, but, how to get it.
Did you get an applause? Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. As a lineman back in high school myself, I understand what it's like to be in the trenches. And obviously, at one point in time in your life, you knew what it was like to be in the trenches. You were 6 years old, but you kind of got the gist of it. See, that's that one time, one game you played center. You understand. I appreciate that. Sorry to interrupt you, Kiefer. If you had more to go with, go ahead.
No. Well, I like to thank my family too for always having my back.
Great answer. That's never a wrong answer. I can tell you that too.
It's not. I'll tell you what. One thing Conneaut does have is a pretty big support system. Whether it's the fans, the coaching, the school. I'll tell you what. I've never been to a Conneaut event that was quiet. I can tell you that.
Right.
So that's a good thing. I'm going to steal Ryan's thunder here. So you're a senior. This is it. Your last hurrah. What's the big moment that when you grab your diploma? And whether you're playing football or baseball or whatever next year, what is something when you get to that first year in college that you're going to be telling people about your football moment as a Conneaut Spartan?
Oh man, I don't even know. Honestly,
you don't have one favorite moment that goes, "Gosh, that was a great day. That was a great day. That was amazing. I can't believe that just went down."
I'd probably say whenever we get our special teams would get a kick return. I thought that was pretty fun.
Guglielmo did say that you had a big return at one point in time too. So was that fun?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And when Chase Carpenter got one too, that was pretty fun too.
Sounds like you like special teams just as much as you like any other position.
Oh yeah. I like kick return more than any position on defense.
I bet you do. There's an opportunity to send it down the sidelines, and that's the only person that gets to do it is you.
Yes, sir.
I think that I had another one lined up. Now I forgot what I was gonna ask. Let me post this up here. Sammy, you got anything else? Tom?
No. I just wanted to honestly. I wanted to tell you thank you. Go ahead, Tom. Do your thing.
I wanted to know what your T-shirt size was because I imagine that 4-4 on goal is going to be getting you a Player of the Week T-shirt. So, Kiefer, what is your T-shirt size?
Medium.
There it is. Back to the mediums.
Medium.
Back to the
medium. Man. One day I'll get my offensive lineman on here. We'll be getting 5 shirts.
Dude, I wish I could fit into a medium.
5
again.
shirts.
Oh
I
my
can.
I could fit into a
Yeah, it
medium. It's just
stretches.
never going to
You gotta
fit the
stretch
same.
that bad boy.
You look like Carl from
Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you, Kiefer. Any plans for after school? Sammy had mentioned, whether it's going to college or not, but any plans for after school, senior year?
I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I'm gonna make money.
Get it. Yeah.
I
I feel like you wanted to say something else too, but I can't say that on air.
That's awesome.
Get girls and make money, man. That's the American dream.
Listen,
Oh,
Kiefer, I want to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for everything you've done as an athlete. You guys are the reason that we're out here doing this. You guys make it fun. It has been fun watching you, not just this year, but last year. You've been making plays for a couple years now in Conneaut. We're finally getting you on here. It's kind of like when we had Rafa on last week. It was always just inopportune. Every time you have a big game, somebody breaks a record.
Right.
Something crazy happens. We finally get you on here as our player of the week. You've been an outstanding athlete the entire time. We want to wish you luck in everything you're doing in the future. I look forward to getting to see you in baseball. I got to watch you sometimes last year, and that's where I was like, man, this kid's just an athlete. I thought you were a football player, but put a baseball cap on you, and you shine out there as well. So thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate you very much, guys.
Kiefer, thanks, buddy. Enjoy the remaining balance of your senior year. Unfortunately, football's over, but I love baseball just as much as the next. Go out there and crack that ball and get rocking and rolling left and right field, man. Congratulations again, buddy.
Yeah, congratulations, Kiefer. I wish I could have kept you on my fantasy team a bit longer, man, but I should have just thrown you on my bench, man, and I kind of feel silly now. But, hey, you were one of my top picks. I mean, but maybe I'll get you a jersey.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Tommy touchdown jersey.
Ladies
and gentlemen, Kiefer Mandagelo.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you tuning in tonight and hopping in with us. I'm going to take you off the screen. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go get your homework done because we know you got some. Don't tell me any different. I know better. All right, buddy. Later, Kiefer. All right.
I'll tell you at first, I didn't know if we were talking to Kiefer Mandagelo or if we were talking to, like, Kenny Powers over there with that mullet, man. That's a hell of a mullet.
Listen, man, those kids, they love it. They love it. This new generation, they might have embraced that mullet more so than even like the '80s cats did.
They
love it. These guys, they perm it. They
yeah, man. I'll tell you what, the mullet is always something I wanted to rock, but I've always been too afraid to.
Listen, I think I said this before on the show. I had a young man from Geneva who recently graduated told me it's a lifestyle. It's not, it's a lifestyle. I need to find out whether or not he has that mullet still. I would like to know.
If I grew a mullet, if I grew a mullet, it's not going to be a mullet. It's going to look like a shag. I'm going to look like either one of the members of DeBarge, or I'm going to have like a Bobby Brown type of haircut because it's all just going to hang right in the back. I'm going to look like I have an afro on my neck. So it doesn't work for me.
There's so many different types of mullets, though, man. The Kentucky waterfall, that's when you should check out. That's one I've been thinking about very seriously for about 6 months so far. And
if you grew a mullet, you'd look like the picture you put up on here earlier that's gone right now.
What
picture? Deleted it that quick?
What picture?
Of him and Jess going to a Halloween?
First of all, no, I'm telling you, I promise you, it doesn't grow vertically. It just curls up into a little afro on the back of my neck.
But it still looks so cool. You look like Kenny Powers, man. Come on.
Yeah,
you look like Kenny Powers.
I'd have to put relaxer in it. I'd look like I'd look like one of the characters in Soul Glow from Coming to America. It's not good for anybody.
Oh, that's a good show,
dude. That's just what you think, man.
Show.
Think about the kids.
Think about the sheen your hair would put off. I mean,
oh God, here we go. Listen,
think about the kids.
I can't believe it took this long.
Oh yeah, ain't no big deal.
I have so much I can say right now, but I'm just not going to.
Oh gosh. Well, why don't we hit the week recap so we can announce all the scores? Is that where we're going to next, and then we get into a couple of the games before we get totally distracted? Tom, don't forget to unmute your mic. You know what we're about ready to do.
All right, getting over to the recap. I'll start it. You guys follow. All right, Fort LaBeouf Bisons 58, Conneaut Spartans 27, Mandagelo 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. Conneaut finishes 4-6 and 17th in the region. Zach Rice gets 1,000 yards this year.
Chagrin Fall Tigers 20, the Geneva Eagles 14. CVC conference game. The Eagles end 2021 3-7. Tom, your mic's muted. Oh, sorry.
The Grand Valley Mustangs put up 34 on the Beechwood Bisons, who put up 14. Grand Valley collected their first win of the season to end at a 2021 record of 1-9.
Falcons, Bulldogs 23-3. 2021 record for Falcons 4-6, 18th in the region, 5 conference they were in. Lakeside Dragons defeat the Edgewood Warriors 49-14. Lakeside wins Battle of the Bridge with 517 yards rushing against the Warriors. Lakeside heads to Hudson for round 1 of the playoffs.
All right. Pymatuning Valley Lakers 24, Mustangs 18. Lakers win on a late game touchdown. They're going back to the playoffs, and they've also won their 3rd NAC title.
Fairport Skippers 22 and the St. John Heralds 14. The Heralds end the year 0-10. Devin Mercilli ends the season with 106 total tackles.
The machine.
I mean, there's nothing else that can be said. He is an absolute machine.
And just a machine.
It's 106 tackles does not happen easy. I think there's only going to be 2 guys. I think there's going to be 2 guys in the county that are going to have over 100 tackles this year. It's going to be him and
Troy
Peterson, who has made me eat crow
all year long.
All year long. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Ever since this bad boy got pushed out there, right here. Yep. Ever since he was not included on this list right here, I have had to eat crow as he goes out. I haven't gotten his updated stats yet this week, which is why we don't have fantasy numbers or league leaders or anything like that. But as of last week, he was 17 tackles for loss, 9 sacks, 100.5 tackles. Like, come on.
I can tell you he's up there for defensive player of the year for 4-4-0 goal.
Yes,
he's definitely in the talks. We'll go that route with it.
Well, we did. We released the finalists. The finalists for Defensive Player of the Year this year were Edgewood's Troy Peterson, St. John and Paul, or excuse me, it's just St. John, no longer Paul. Paul's back in Youngstown.
Yeah, booted.
St. John's Devin Mercilliot and Jefferson Falcon Wade Woodworth. Wade Woodworth, the lone junior in that group. The other 2 guys are seniors. Your Offensive Player of the Year finalists: Grant Hitchcock. Let me make sure I'm giving these to you the right way, because I don't. That's one thing I don't want to mess up. It was Grant Hitchcock is one. Zach Rice is another from Conneaut. Give me 1 second.
Almost there.
It always. That third one is a butt kicker because I can never.
With that being said, I do want to shout out a couple of the young men from Jefferson. Both these guys had a heck of a season. New head coach this year, really bought in. The first one here is going to be Hitchcock. So this is a cool graphic Sammy put together. Grant Hitchcock is some pretty awesome stats. He's 1,000 and 1,000, so meaning over 1,000 passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards for Grant Hitchcock. So 1,423 yards passing, 1,010 yards rushing, 8 passing touchdowns, 14 rushing touchdowns. So collectively, that young man for the Falcons went for 22 touchdowns in some way, shape, or form for the Jefferson Falcons. The other one here, real quick, Trent Hodge, 54 receptions. That is now a new high school record out at Jefferson. The previous record was, I think, 53. If I'm saying
53, and that was held by Zach Dennis.
You're right, Zach Dennis out at Jefferson. I know it had to have been 50, at least 54 to be a record, but with 585 receiving yards. So kudos out there. Jefferson coming out like a ball of fire. One of the reasons why Sammy was so successful in the fantasy points this year, because Hitch and Hodge train, he just rolled that bad boy everywhere he went. All kinds of numbers. It was amazing out there. And then another one from Lakeside real quick.
Huge shout out.
Huge shout out.
Take that thing off the bottom of the screen.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. You told me about that earlier. Bam. Huge shout out to Grant. Go. You know what, Sammy? Go ahead.
I'll take care of this.
You want to do this.
So I want to send a huge shout out to Garrett Siebenik of Lakeside High School, who this year became the Lakeside Dragons all-time passing leader. His regular season passing yards, 2,996 yards, beating the previous owner by almost 500 yards. We've had lots of bittersweet moments on this show, and actually Friday, and we apologize because we weren't aware of it until we started to do some stat collecting this week. Was another one, because the all-time passing leader, who essentially passed the torch to him, was Edgewood head coach Elijah Cooper, was Lakeside's all-time passing leader. So there's something to be said. It's very similar to Zach Winchell last year when he breaks Freeman's record in front of Sean Freeman. Those are things you can't really write. It's really just a very cool thing. Garrett Siebenik has been a rock for that program. He's been Coach Buzz Edwards describes him as extremely coachable. He said he's just one of those kids that when you need him to get it done, he gets it done. He's a leader. He's a 3-year team captain. I mean, you're a sophomore team captain. That says a lot about you.
And Sam, think about this too. So he passes this by almost 500 yards, but last season he does a position switch midway through the year. So if he stays at quarterback in his junior year for the whole year, we could be talking over 3,300 yards passing. You know what I mean?
Very easily.
So what I'm getting at there is it's not only impressive, but it's also super impressive because he didn't play quarterback his whole career at Lakeside.
Yeah. I mean, he plays quarterback as a sophomore. He comes out. He threw for almost 1,400 yards as a sophomore. Makes the change for the team. Okay, makes the change for the team. Let's focus on that as a junior. How many kids do you know that would throw for 1,300 yards that would continue to stay there? Most kids transfer after stuff like that happens. Most kids mail it in. Not this one. He goes out, makes big plays on defense.
Right.
Makes big plays on defense, plays some big time tight end for him last year. And coming into the football season this year, he's a senior and tells his coach, listen, I'm the quarterback again. This is how it's going to be. And works and gets it done. And, 1,000 yards, 1,047 yards later, here we are.
So we could get into a small debate. I think we might have enough time. And I'll just ask you guys this. So obviously passing records are getting broken. It seems like, or rushing records, whatever it may be. Do you think it has a lot to do with the system that schools are running now versus 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago?
Well, it definitely does. But I mean, think about this. This is all the more impressive because this year Lakeside becomes a run dominant team. Lakeside becomes a very run-dominant team this year for Garrett, and couple that with the fact that he doesn't play quarterback for the whole season last year. I mean, you got to think. I mean, all those are working against him to become the all-time leading passer, and he does it in spite of all that. Man, they become a run-dominant team. They ran for 517 yards this past week. I mean, come on.
Yeah, 2,345 yards. Rushing for Lakeside.
That's
insane. As a unit,
as a team this year.
Yeah, that's what
927 for Jay Sean Sanders, 833 for Elijah Jefferson, and 587 for AJ Rafa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and still Garrett Siebenik finds a way to get 1,000 yards. This is a team. This is like getting 1,000 yards at Navy.
Here.
You know what I mean?
Like top passers in the county this year too. I mean,
yeah, it's been a really great year, and he's been just a stand-up kid for them. A stand-up man. He's a young man now, and you love to see it. I do want to say, hold on, I wanted to.
Would also like to say the only other person to pass on Lakeside was Anthony Colazzo, and he went 0 for 1. So just throwing that one.
Listen, he made up for it with a big interception return for a touchdown.
He did. He did.
All them tail
No,
lights. I'm
but that's
pretty
what.
sure he
While
did
you're
the
looking for
Tyreek Hill
that,
on the way
I would
down.
love to start tallying total rushing yards per school per season. I don't know if that's a stat that's out there, but I think total
It
rushing
can be.
yards.
It
Since
can
we're
be. All
doing
you
it.
got to do is go to the Excel file and highlight all that and hit
Yeah.
equals. Boom.
There it is. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. And with that, while Sammy's looking for that, I do want to bring up, and big shout out to Sammy. He makes the coolest graphics. He said he's going to teach me one day. I don't know when. But I got 2 schools to shout out. And since we're on the Lakeside topic, I'm going to bring that one up real quick. So the Dragons do take off the Hudson for their playoff berth this year, coming in at number 13. So they're going to be playing, I do believe it's 7 o'clock on Friday night coming up. Tickets are for sale through. They've got a website.
You gotta
Don't
buy
they, Sam?
everything. Yeah, you gotta buy everything online. We got ours.
Yeah. So
I'm not getting there and
what's it? The
having to
Asheville Area
watch it
City
outside.
Schools website.
Yeah, Asheville Area City Schools has them posted. Where there's a link, a direct link, and as
Okay.
you can see right on this flyer, there is their the address, which is why I posted that.
Right. And then another big shout out to the PV Lakers coming in hot. That last victory over Matthews, I do believe it was, really boosted them up. I can't remember off the top of my head. Where's it at real quick? I know I have it. Oh, where'd you go, PV? I felt like I think they're ranked number 11 in their division.
They are ranked number 11.
Number 11. They were down to 13, but that last win bumped them up, number 11. And they'll be taking on
Preston Norway.
Thank you. I couldn't read it down there.
Yeah,
the
Norway.
Bobcats, Norway Bobcats there this Friday night too. I don't know whether or not you got to buy those online or what, but I would just check out the PV high school.
So this year,
all
that's
tickets
all
online.
games. Yeah, all playoff games have to be bought online.
Okay.
And before, I got to send this real quick shout out too. I feel bad because I had some more stuff planned, but I do want to send a huge shout out to the PV Lakers, 3-time, three-peat NAC champs. This team has won that league for 3 years in a row. And as you know, league championships aren't given away. You got to go out and take them. These gentlemen went out and got it done, 6-3 again. This team hasn't had a losing record in a long, long time. And if you remember, there was a lot of, I guess, unsure. Everybody was unsure this year because they lost 3 dynamic playmakers.
PV3.
They lost Tyler Bean, who is the last person in the county to do 1,000 and 1,000. He does that in 2019. Goes for 1,000 and 1,000 on the 1,000 in the air, 1,000 on the ground. They lose Mason Inman, who was arguably one of the best defensive players in the league in the county last year. And then you lose Jonah Wilkerson, who's a monster, and Victor Verba, who is an actual monster that you can't get around. Like, he is way, way too strong for anybody to deal with. They just had guys who went out there and made plays last year, and some teams would crumple and some teams would fall by the wayside. But, there's something in the water. There's something in that lake in Pymatuning Valley's lake, baby, because those kids stay strong. They stay ready to go. And, even when they went against Toronto, I told you, I still feel like that game got stolen from them. They went against Travis Kelce, basically, at tight end.
Yep.
And continued to fight and were one terrible call away from winning that game as well. So, shout out to the PV Lakers. They're heading down to Creston, Norway. And I hope for everybody, I really, really hope Norway overlooks them. I hope they do. I hope they overlook PV, because when you overlook PV, before you know it, you're down by 2 touchdowns. They've got the ball and they're going to take 5 minutes off of it. So that's how it goes. Those PV Lakers, they're a different breed out there.
Yeah, Norway is.
Really quick, I just got to tie something else, tie up a loose end. The 3 Offensive Player of the Year finalists this year: Zach Rice of Conneaut, Grant Hitchcock of Jefferson, and Jay-Sean Sanders of Lakeside. Jay-Sean Sanders, I just want to put out a pretty cool little tidbit, if you will. Ja'Shawn Sanders currently stands at regular season 1,926 yards career. The career rushing record at Lakeside, as it stands right now, 2,469, which puts Ja'Shawn Sanders, the junior, when he comes in as a senior, 543 yards away from the record. So I think you can pretty much look for him to break that record.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right. By week 5. I mean, it might be week 3 the way that man runs. You never know. It might be
get
week
the right
3.
team, absolutely.
Yeah. But I was just getting into just saying Norwayne comes in at 7-3, PV 6-3. PV didn't play a game due to a cancellation. I think it's going to be a little bit of barn burner wherever Norwayne is. I have no idea.
In Preston, Ohio, I believe it's just north of Steubenville.
Okay, so a little bit
I
of a
could be
trip
way
for
wrong.
them. But just remember, guys, Lakeside and PV, you guys are hitting the playoffs. Guess what that means? You're 0-0. It does not matter how many losses you had during the season. You have none now. So, as LeBron James says, playoff sweat's different sweat. I think I just botched that because I'm joking.
Crescent's by Worcester. Crescent's by Worcester.
You are correct. I had them mixed up with Toronto, which is exactly what I knew I was going to do. So it's down there in the area like Rittman, Burbank, West Salem. It's south. All right, it's south.
Just go down 71, you'll get there.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. They're gonna If you see Smithville, you went too far.
Oh, but I think that's it, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's it.
I knew it was going to be a little short today.
I'm really looking forward to this week. Unfortunately, we do need to go ahead and get this out of the way. We will not be able to stream the playoff games this week. Yeah. We are an Ashtabula County-based media team, so our relationships lie with Ashtabula County teams. If one of these guys was hosting, then yeah, we would have got out there. We would have been able to produce it, stream it, whatever you want. So this week we will not be able to stream it. But much like the state championship game last week, if you pay attention to our Facebook, our Twitter, I will be tweeting, Instagram, and all that, all of our social medias, we will give updates throughout. Me and Ryan will be attending the Hudson Lakeside game. Tom, obviously, it's a Friday, and car salesmen don't get off on Friday. So we will be at the Hudson Lakeside game this week. I'm really, really excited. We were a part of the 2002 Lakeside Dragons playoff team, so it's very cool to be able to see the next team to do it. Looking big time forward to that. But we're going to
think about wearing my jersey.
Listen, I would, but it might tear. I don't know if I'd be able to get it.
Listen, they put some elastic in these bad boys back in the day. You see that side there? That's all elastic. We're good.
Ryan, you should roll your jersey up like Ezekiel Elliott.
Stay tuned right here because we're going to be giving you guys updates on the game. We may, there's going to be a lot of people here. There's a lot of people that are going to be at this game. I heard there are some talks that maybe a legendary Lakeside coach may be attending to watch this game. So you never know. Maybe we do an on-the-spot interview, something like that while we're there. It's going to be cool. I'm really looking forward to getting to sit down and be able to be a fan and watch these games. And, I'm really, really pulling for the PV Lakers, as we just kind of talked about. But I really got to say to my Dragons, guys, man, let's go out there, get the job done. Dragons football. It's Dragons football, playoff football. Let's get the first playoff win in school history. Our class got us there. You guys get the win. I'm really looking forward to it this year.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. But with that being said, congratulations to PV and the Dragons. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, before we go, I do want to say one more, give flowers while they're here. I want to send a special shout out to Gerald Sorber of Geneva.
Good.
Coach Sorber stepped down and is retiring from coaching the Geneva High School Eagles football team. He had a great career with Geneva. 31-38 was his overall record, but they won like 9 or 10 more games than they lost in the last 3 years. Coach Sorber is a stand-up guy. He has always been really good with us. When we first started, he was one of the first coaches we got to meet, welcoming us out to these practices and really just buying in on this. And it's guys like him that made this show, that made this whole thing happen. Without the help of coaches and those guys like him with enough foresight to understand that we're out here trying to help, we probably wouldn't be doing what we're doing today. So, Coach Sorber, well done. What a career. You are an awesome coach and a better human being. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're getting to do in the future. Everybody takes off the cleats, but nobody ever throws them away. So I'm sure one day we'll get to see Coach Sorber back on the field. But until then, enjoy your time off. You have earned it, sir. You really did a great job, and you've produced some great football players and even better men. So, from Sam at 440 and goal and all the other guys, I'm sure, thank you so much, Coach Sorber, for everything you've done. And enjoy your time, man, because you earned it. You earned it.
Had to pull that up real quick. Thanks, Chip. Hopefully we see you soon. We'll see how that one goes. You never know, though. All right, with that being said, I'm getting the heck out of here. This is Ryan signing off. I appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. Don't forget to look for next week. We should have some announcements for I do believe all county. Am I saying it too soon, Sam, before I screw something
No,
up
you
like
got
I
it. So,
always do?
next week
All
we'll
county.
do our first team.
First and second team, all county.
First team and second team, all county. We're also going to announce the volleyball player of the year. So I guess it's a bit of an award show.
Maybe we could get the young lady on. Maybe. We'll see how that one goes. So, but yeah, so I'm getting out of here. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Stay tuned too for basketball and wrestling. We should have some announcements coming up. I know it doesn't start for like another month, but we've already been working hard at getting updated with a few things. So stay tuned for that. And go PV, go Dragons.
Listen, in the words of the genius John Leguizamo, love, peace, and chicken grease, baby.
Don't even say he stole your thunder, Tom.
He didn't. I promise you. I promise you. All right. Hey, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. We'll catch you next week.
It's all water under the fridge.
Rebound taken by Iguodala. Iguodala
Go
to Curry, back to
Dragons!
Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. LeBron James with the rejection.
Cleveland! This is for you!
Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, 4-4 and go. That other getting old. We got Sam Ryan time. This is a sports octagon. Sports for forever and beyond. Spending with Sam Ryan time. From the puck to the glove to the pigskins high. Share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. Down the baseline in the bleachers, or you wanna get denied. Yeah, share all of your thoughts, just let it ride. 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul. Yeah, it's 4-4 and go. Come here to cleanse your soul.
The Browns Super Bowl contenders.
Hey, listen, when we start talking about what wins Super Bowl, we talk about talent. The Browns, they have the talent. They have it.